And welcome everybody, it's Dan Latto speaking. Hope you're well today. We're slightly later than I expected. I was away for the last couple of days. I flew over to England and on the Benidorm Express, as we call it, from Alicante over to Manchester for a couple of days just to see family, catch up with some friends. Went to a book signing, which was very nice. And then yesterday, or the day before, Saturday I think it was, I flew back. Spent the night over in Alicante because I didn't fancy the late night back. And then today we're kind of back in the office really. But we're running a little bit late because of my flight on Thursday. We got the NHS track and trace signal notification, whatever it is, to say you may have the lurgy. Somebody next to you had the lurgy. You may also have the lurgy. So you now have to isolate for 10 days. Anyway, I live in Spain, and I guess now the NHS are just going to keep... It's not the NHS, is it? Let's face it. Is it Capita? They're probably just going to keep on calling me. Anyway, I took the test. We had one of those... Is it a lateral flow test? One of the very fast ones, like 15, 20 minutes. I just did that, and it's clear. So hopefully we are fine. If not, I've already told the wife... the Xbox will be moving upstairs and my period of self-isolation in the bedroom will be on the Xbox and my laptop. And what else do I need other than food and drink? Other than that, nothing. I'm a happy man. Anyway, that's why we're late. Let's get into the actual content about what we're going to talk about today, which is anatomy of a social media campaign. Now, this might be... digital content like organic content, just what you're posting, or it might be something like a Facebook ad that you're trying to run. And if you're trying to run Google ads or Facebook ads or YouTube ads or even LinkedIn or Twitter ads, we've done all of those and it's not working, we can hopefully help you as to why that might not be working right now. And so we're going to cover these 4 points. And the 4 points, just to break them down quickly, and then I'll go into each one and give you a bit more detail. So the first part, when you're creating any type of social media content, digital marketing, an advert, whatever it happens to be, is obviously you need an advert on the piece of social media. So, for example, a Facebook ad or a piece of content that goes out onto LinkedIn. Now, the mistake that... before we actually run into mistakes, let me run through the whole content. Then you need a landing page. This is where you're going to get someone to sign up for something. We'll go into more detail on that in a second. Then after the sign up, you want a thank you page. So it's a redirect onto a thank you page, and you might get them to sign up for something else, which we'll talk about, one-time offers and that kind of thing. And then after all of that, you're going to indoctrinate them via what we call a follow-up sequence. An indoctrination period is where people get to know you, basically. And so these are the 4 steps that everybody should be having in their business right now. Most people haven't got these 4 steps. And in fact, most people, when they're putting stuff out on social media, they're saying, hey, buy my stuff. And just putting stuff out on social media saying, hey, buy my stuff, will not sell your stuff. And I'm sure you've found this if you're trying to run this type of content in the past. It just doesn't work. It's 2021 going into 2022. People do not believe a word you have to say, right? But, you know, look at politics, for goodness sakes. Can anybody actually not tell a lie? Is that even a thing? Not. How about not lying about everything? How about we try that for a start? So, you know, people used to say, "Oh, cheaters never win." Yeah, they do. They get to be prime minister, for goodness sakes. Let's not go down that path. But we're living in this world right now where people simply don't trust what they see, they don't trust what they hear, and that extenuates into the social media realm. So if you're putting something out and it's a 50% off, people don't believe you, they don't trust you, they don't know you, and you've got to build some trust, some credibility, some consistency, some honesty in there, and that's the bit that most people are getting wrong. If you hear some pinging in the background, that's my Google chat, and I don't know how to turn that off actually. Let's get rid of that. There we go. I think I've turned it off. Excellent. So, so let's get on to the first section then, which is the ad or the content. Let me just move this arrow down. There we go. Look, I've got movable arrows, which I'm very happy about. So, what you've got when you're first posting something onto social media, you've got a piece of content, and that content might be buy my thing, or it might be something like this, where we go live and we give advice and help, and hopefully along the way it will help some people. But most people, they're going, buy my stuff. And yeah, that's fine. It's a piece of social media content, but it's not likely to convert. And this is one of the bits that's like really important. Is it going to convert? And if it doesn't convert, and if you're selling holidays and you're putting lots of holidays out there and none of those are converting, it doesn't matter how many more you're going to do, they're still not going to convert. And so you've got to do something different. And that doing of something different is where you've got to sell the next step effectively. And we say this to all our clients that we bring on board who are trying to sell straight off a page. And I'm like, no, just slow down, hold your horses a little bit. We need to move the person who's never seen you or might have seen you a little bit. We got to move them on to the next step because they got to know you, they got to like you, they got to trust you. First of all, we call this KLT, know, like, and trust. But there's two extra bits in there that people miss. The first one is that you've got to be consistent. And the last one is you've got to be credible, okay? So, and by the way, credibility is subjective. So this is really important. Like right now, I'm at home, I'm in the villa, I'm wearing a hoodie, and people go, well, you're not credible. And you're right, I'm not. To you, I'm not credible. To somebody else, they're going, I love the fact that Dan sat in his villa in Spain wearing a hoodie because he just doesn't care what he looks like, because he knows that the content is more important than what he looks like, right? Because we live in this bullshit age. If we're sat here in a three-piece suit and tie, that makes me actually feel less credible than just sat here wearing a hoodie, okay? And some people find that opposite. Conversely, they want someone in a suit and tie, slicked back hair, driving a BMW. They want that. They want a sales type person. And not everybody does, and especially as we're moving into 2021, 2022. This is one of the really difficult transitions I found, was from not wearing a suit and a tie every day. And boy, I do miss a suit and a tie. I love a good court appearance when we're suing somebody. Tenants for non-payment of rent, I get to wear a suit once again. But I miss it. But, you know, this is in the 80s, 90s, noughties and the 10s. That was great. But we're not living in Gordon Gekko 1980s time anymore. We're living in 2021, where the guy in the shorts and T-shirt is the guy employing the suits, not the other way around. And so credibility is subjective. But credibility can also cover a number of things. It can be how you look. It can be how you speak. I mean, goodness me, I sound like this, for goodness sake. I've got this lispy thing going on. I've got a Yorkshire accent. Hey up, lad, from Yorkshire. You know, we have all these different things going on. Now, some people love that. Some people are like, oh, your accent is wonderful. Oh, trust you as soon as you opened your mouth. And other people are like, I don't trust you. The second you opened your mouth, I don't trust you. So credibility is subjective from how you sound, how you look, what you wear. And it's also subjective based on what your knowledge is, your skill set, your expertise, your experience, your behaviours, your values, how you present yourself in real life, how you present yourself on social media and so on. So credibility is subjective. Now, if you're trying to appear credible to everybody, you're going to fail. You probably appear credible to nobody. And the best way to appear to be credible is simply by being you. And one of the biggest compliments I get is, oh, you're just like you are on your lives or on your podcast or when you're on stage and speaking to a large group of people. You're just Dan. And people like that. It builds more credibility because I don't have to put anything on. I am me. As Charles Barkley, who's a basketball player, said, well, someone's got to be me. Might as well be me. And I agree. The world doesn't need more imitations of Tony Robbins or Gary Vee or Grant Cardone or whoever it is that you aspire to be like. They don't need more copies. They need the original version of you. So, what on earth has that got to do with your ads and your content? You have to display them from a KLT, know, like, and trust, but you've also got to be consistent and you've got to be credible. So if you're running one advert or one piece of content and that is it, that's not consistent. That's not credible either. How are you building the KLT, the know, like, and trust, using one simple piece of content? Why do you think we put out so many pieces of content doing all sorts of different things? We've got the podcast, we've got the YouTube, we're live on LinkedIn right now. Welcome LinkedIn. This is our first live on LinkedIn, seeing as we just got authorized for that. We have podcasts on iTunes and Spotify and Stitcher that people can download and listen to them while they're out and about and on the go. We have people doing making dinner while they listen to my podcast, which I find hilarious. So We put out all sorts of content. You get content with me walking a dog. I'm driving the car. Some people don't like that one. But we're perfectly safe. We're not driving overly fast. And it's just like talking to someone sat next to us. We're just talking to an old friend, which is what you are. So we put out a ton of different type of content. And the reason why we put out a ton of different type of content, and all the messages are kind of the same. So what we're doing is we're putting out a front of, this is who we are. This is what we're about. This is how we can help. And if you want us to help you, and you'll have to pay for it, then come and book a strategy call. You don't have to pay for a strategy call, but if you buy our services, obviously you have to pay for services. But if you want to come and have a chat, just come and have a chat. We're really friendly, we're really nice, and we'll tell you what you might not want to hear as well, by the way. But if we do that enough times, consistently over a period of time, eventually these barriers that people have got built up, these untrusting barriers, are going, do you know what? Dan says exactly what he thinks, and we like that. Let's sign up and get on a conversation with Dan. So your content that you're putting out, let's say this is organic content, you can't just put out one piece of content. And if you're a person who just copies and pastes motivational sayings, again, it's not an original piece of content, so you're losing credibility because you've got nothing to say yourself. And so there's a big difference there. Now, if you're running Facebook ads, for example, it can be Google or LinkedIn or Twitter or whatever it happens to be. But let's just stick with Facebook ads for now, because that's where most people want to run their ads. If you are running Facebook ads, then you might have one really cool advert that actually converts more than all the others. But eventually what happens is it runs out of steam. You get advert apathy. People have seen the same advert time and time again, and you have to refresh them. So even though you might have a great Facebook ad, you're still going to have to change the Facebook ad up a little bit because it gets tired over time and it needs refreshing on a constant basis. Now, in my digital marketing agency, we're constantly refreshing Facebook ads, constantly refreshing offers for our clients. One of the things we're really, really bad at is refreshing our own offers. I'm sure you've heard the cobbler's children has no shoes. We're so busy working for everybody else that we sometimes forget to update our own stuff. Let me just grab a quick drink here. So that's definitely an issue that we have in-house as well. But as we're a growing company, our revenues are up 53% on last year, which is pretty major, obviously. And so there's a lot of work that actually goes on in the background that most people don't see. They just see the stuff going out. And also, one of the things we're really bad at is expressing our wins for our clients. So, you know, we talked about one in the last session, which was, I think, 13 or 14 new clients for £60 ad spend for one of our new clients, which is amazing. And we're really, really bad at demonstrating, look what we've done for this client, because we're so busy doing the work for the clients, we forget to demonstrate to everybody else who's not a client how good we are. Anyway, the idea here is that you have to continually refresh either the content that's going out or the Facebook ads. But what you must not do is try and sell straight off a Facebook ad. Like, it might work for you depending on what the product is, but it has to be a transactional product. Like, you know, let me find something. Oh, I've got some gloves. I have some weightlifting gloves. I've got these on my desk right now. So these is what I lift with when I go do CrossFit and my pull-ups and my squats and my Olympic lifts and so on. These are the gloves. Now, I could put an advert on Facebook and sell them for £25 each. That's a transaction. You get the gloves, you pay the money, it's a transaction. For stuff that's more consulting based, which is what a lot of our clients do, they're either selling some training of some kind or they're selling a service of some kind that's not necessarily transactional. It could be the same with a phone. If I'm selling a phone for £200, I might be able to run some Facebook ads just for a phone. But actually, the higher up you go, the less likely you're going to be able to sell straight off a Facebook ad. So for smaller stuff, £15 or £20, you can run transactional Facebook ads. That's probably going to work. But the biggest stuff that most people are running, one, the client that got 14 new clients on a £60 ad spend is running a transactional campaign. That, you know, you see the offer, you see the discount, you buy the thing, or you get a discount voucher, and that's the offer. And that's how we get people signing up, and then they turn up with the offer, and then they get the discount at that point. They're low-priced, transactional type of adverts. For the bigger stuff, which is usually consulting or service or something that's got a higher markup, you've got to build out a whole funnel, a whole campaign. Just selling off a page doesn't work. Okay, I think we covered that quite well, actually. Let's move on to the next one then, which is the landing page. So, what goes onto a landing page? I wonder if I can give you a couple of examples, actually, of different landing pages. I'll give you some of mine, and then you can have a look. And I'll share my screen in a minute. Let me just move this over there. Okay, so here's an example of a landing page that we actually created like February 2020. So it's 18 months old. So let me just move over to this landing page. There we go. Hopefully you can still hear me. And if you can't, you won't be able to hear me. So anyway, this is our property sourcing training. You get instant access. So there's a very quick call to action at the top. This is a two-step landing page, by the way. So on this two-step, you get instant access. You can put in your details on here. So you can fill in your details. And then when you click submit, as it says here, it says once entered, you can sign up for a course on the next page. So the next page is where we actually take the transaction. This is a two-step landing page. The reason why it's two-step is that when someone types get instant access, and they fill in their details on the next page, sometimes I'd say about 20% of people just leave without actually buying the product. And we call this basket abandonment, okay? But the fact that they've gone on to the next page, we've now still got their name and email address, so we can now email them. And we can set it up so that it says, hey, we got your email address, but you didn't complete your purchase. Go back to this link and complete your purchase. So doing a two-step landing page is a really cool way of doing that. So this is very basic landing page. There's actually quite a lot of copy. If you look on here, there is, I think there's actually about 2,500 words. And the reason why there's 2,500 words is because this page comes up quite well on search engine rankings for our key phrase. So you've got a call to action, you've got some sprinkled throughout, you've got some testimonials, very different ones here, and then a whole bunch of different testimonials saying how great it is. And by the way, this training course has like 50 testimonials. We've sold a lot of this training for £27, and it's a really nice income source. And if you're wondering about how to create a course like this, we also do a course about how to make a course, which is another £27. So here's another example of another landing page. So here's an example of all the different people that have bought to show that this is how you do it. And the whole point of this is to generate an online income every single month on autopilot with your own profitable online course in just 2 weeks or less. So literally from the day you buy the training to till up to 14 days, you'll have a course that you'll be able to sell. That's how it's designed, because people need to make money. Again, a very basic landing page. Let's give you another landing page. Website design, I think. We'll do it. So these are all our landing pages, and we'll give you another one as well. Funnel Experts, which is one of my websites. Let's look at the website design page first. So there's a call to action right there. Contact us for a quote. There's a whole bunch of SEO built on this page. Google, over 30 plus reviews. Look at what you get. Very bright, very colourful, and it's done on a particular thing. So it's meant for you to scroll down and for you to keep scrolling and to keep looking. And then there's example sites. Let's show you a different landing page. So our free guide. So this home page here, on this free guide, it's literally a pop-up box. Now think about this. Most people, when they're trying to sell something, like let's just say marketing funnels, they're going, hey, buy our funnel, it's £1,000 or it's £500 or it's £2,000. And it's like, no, this is a consultative approach that you should be running. We don't know how much your funnel's going to cost because we don't know how much work there is or what needs to be done, or you might have nothing, or you might have a complete end-to-end system. You just need the landing page with Facebook ads, for example. So it depends, right? So the way that we do this is once we've driven content to a page such as this, they can now download the free guide. We ask them, do you want a call back? What problem do you want to solve? We've got their phone number. They get this free guide, and then they go on to the next page, and on the next page they can actually book an appointment with me. And so that's why we do it. And all we're doing here, this is the important bit that I need you to remember. The reason why we're doing this is that we're selling the next step. I say that again because this bit is really, really important and most people don't get this. We're selling the next step. So, for example, if you're single and you're trying to go out and date again, and you go on Match.com, the whole point on you putting an advert, which is the same as you putting a piece of content on Facebook, you putting your profile on Match.com, is so that someone clicks it, and when they click it, they get more information about you. The landing page, right? So then the idea of you being on Match is that you get to speak to someone via text to begin with, via maybe WhatsApp next, then via a phone call, and then your next thing that you're going to do is you're going to schedule an appointment, which we call a date. The whole point of a date is to get a second date, and the point of a second date is to get a third and fourth and fifth, and then you meet the parents, then you spend Christmas together, then and so on, right? So that's the same when you're doing your marketing. But most people are trying to get married on the first date straight off Facebook. It's crazy. It's not going to work if you take the analogy that far. So you've got to sell the next step at every stage. So you're driving people from Facebook to a landing page, and you're going to give them something, you're going to give something away. Ideally, a free guide, a free training course. We've got a client and they give away a free training course. I dread to think how many training courses they've given away. But those people that get in a training course then get redirected to their Facebook groups, and now they're starting to fill up their Facebook group. So the landing page is really important, and you've got to build the credibility. Now, on here, we've got credibility because these are some of our clients, some existing and some old. These are some of our examples of work that we've done. There's quite a lot of examples there. There's a video that talks about some of this stuff. Again, all of this is about building credibility. And then there's benefits: affordable, fast, dedicated team, high quality funnels, graphic design, third-party integration like Stripe and for payments, and ActiveCampaign and PayPal, and I don't know what that one is up there. MailChimp and Zapier. What is that one? Aweber. And then free strategy call, onboarding and sales. We tell people exactly what they're getting, what makes us different, what makes us stand out, and then our happy clients. This is a great landing page. And then questions at the bottom. That's a really good landing page. And all it's designed to do is download the free guide. Literally, that's it. All it is doing is selling the next step. And that's exactly what yours needs to do. And by the way, if you want a copy of the free guide, it's I don't know how big it is. It's like a 16-page guide. It's really good. And it actually breaks it down on a step-by-step how to run your own Facebook ads. And how to create your own funnel. It's really good. You should have it. It's at funnelexperts.co.uk. But that's a really good example of what a landing page should look like. So now, when you've got your landing page, the next bit then is to go for your sign up or your thank you page. Now, let me clarify what I mean here. They're on a landing page, they fill in a form, and then they should get redirected to one of maybe three things, okay? So the first thing they're going to get redirected to is a one-time offer. So the one-time offer might say something like, hey, thanks for downloading our free guide. Do you want to sign up for a strategy session at £49? Do you want I don't know, do you want 10 videos that will cost you £19? A one-time offer. So do you want a copy of my do you want a copy of my book, which is $19.99? I haven't got a book. But if I had, I would be selling it at $19.99, right? So it's a one-time offer. It's normally 40 quid, but if you buy it right now, it's half price. So stuff like that, we call that a one-time offer. So you're either going to send them to a one-time offer with a potential upsell. You're going to send them to a thank you page, giving them specific instructions on what you want them to do next, which could be to buy something else, or go over here and download this, or get this free training course, whatever it happens to be. Or the third one that we like a lot is on the redirect. Once they've filled in their details, so let me just go back to that page. Once they've filled in this form here, it redirects them to a Facebook group. So as soon as they've filled in that form, it redirects them to the Facebook group. And the reason why we want that to happen is that we want them to come into our Facebook group, so that when they're in our Facebook group, we can continue to market to them through lives such as this, or through copy that we write, or through videos, or through images, and so on. So we're constantly looking at what can we do to keep re-engaging with potential clients. And so we always send them over to a Facebook group, which is like a closed session. We have a lot of control over that session, over the content that goes into that group. And what it enables us to do is build the KLT, the know, like, and trust. It allows us to build the consistency, and it allows us to build the credibility as well, so that in 6 months or a year or two, when they're actually ready to buy what we sell, there's only one person that they're likely to go to, and that's us. The problem with running Facebook ads straight off a page and trying to sell today is that if they're not ready today to buy what you sell, you've lost them forever and they'll never come back. As we know, 70% of people never come back to your website. 93% leave within the first 7 seconds. So knowing all of that, if we can capture them into a Facebook group of some kind, then that's going to work really well for us, and that will allow us to continually market to the potential clients. Let me just grab another drink here. Okay, so this then leads us to the last bit, which is a follow-up sequence. Now, a follow-up sequence should be they're in your marketing list. So one of the reasons why, let me just bring this up again. Let me do it on this page. One of the reasons why we use a two-step, let me share this screen for you. We use a two-step landing page, is that when we get instant access, they fill in their details, so name, email address, and phone number. That then goes over into our database. Then it gets redirected, and then we get to the actual payment page where they can actually just buy whatever it is that we happen to be selling. Now, if they, like we said in the previous bit, if they bounce out and we've already got the name and email address, but they don't buy, we've still got their name and email address, which means we can then use our follow-up sequence to indoctrinate them, to get us to know us, to get us to trust us, to get to build up the trust and the honesty and all of that kind of thing, the credibility, so that eventually in a year or two they will then buy whatever it is at the time that they need to buy. And it's the same on the property sourcing training on the two-step landing page. This one on the funnel experts, it's literally a guide. Then they get access to the free guide. Then they're into it gets redirected to a strategy call, so they can actually book a strategy call. But then they get the email addresses, because we have a follow-up sequence. In fact, everybody gets the follow-up sequence. So if you remember Oprah, you get a free car, you get a free car, you get a follow-up sequence, and the next person gets one, and so on and so on. And our my battery's running low. But everybody gets the indoctrination sequence. Now, they can opt out at any point, and if they choose to do that, then that's fine, but they're going to really miss out because they're missing out on the indoctrination sequence and a load of secrets that are in there. But your indoctrination sequence needs to be, we've got like 57 emails that text them through over the next year or so. Anyway, look, I hope that's useful for you. Let me know in the comments down below if you've got any questions, and we'll answer them in the next one. My name's Dan Latto. Take care.